as you can see, this is Knytt Underground. Yes, you do pronounce the K. So, I just thought I'd do a little demonstration of this because I like talking about this game, because I think it's a good example of what to do as far as gaming is concerned, what sort of thing you should explore. So I'm going to be erasing my Chapter 1 data and starting a game over here. Let's do this. Knytt Underground is a game available from a man named Nifflas, who's a Swedish game developer, that is a little different from what you normally see in video games. It's all about exploration, and it's a puzzle platformer for the most part. There's Nifflas himself. And no. So, as you can see, the protagonist's name is Me, and she's mute. There's a little bit of music going on right now. So, we're gonna go say hi to Me's sister, whose name you will very shortly see. So this is one of the major mechanics in the game. The lights that you can pick up allow you to fly and do interesting things. We're actually headed for the Fairy Springs. You can hold space down to check your menu and see what's going on. We're now moving on. We're gonna head down first, actually, I think. So as you can see, there isn't a lot of challenge right now. There are enemies that can kill you, but at the moment it actually doesn't go down, so we're gonna head back up. I will say this for the game, I do love its aesthetic, but as you can see, it's not intended to be taken as a realistic game. Its graphics are about as good as they can get. It plays well in any size, in full screen, or I have it windowed right now so that I can record without without difficulty. But what you see for the most part is that this game really doesn't concern itself as much with the aesthetic as much as it does with the exploration itself and the exploring. Both of which do rely on the aesthetic, but it's not the other way around. The aesthetic isn't there so we can explore. The exploration is there, so we need an aesthetic. A way to distinguish the different areas of the game, instead of simply having a whole bunch of samey rooms, with the exploration just being a percentage. We can't go that way either, so it looks like we are going down this time. Also, the reason I can't get down here is because this jump right here is presently impossible. As you saw, we were doing Chapter 1, but by Chapter 3 we'll actually have a way to get up there. But I'm not going to spoil it. Let's see what's down here. How about this? It's getting a little brighter and a little more green. So as the title suggests, this game takes place in underground. So that's the white orb allows you to shoot Hadoukens at things. Let's go right. Let's see if we can flesh out this map a little more. Who's this guy? Johan, huh? Well, as we said earlier, Me is mute. He's a bit of a jerk because he doesn't realize he can't speak. I don't intend to do a let's play of the rest of this game. As one of the let's players, I'm quite fond of Deceased Crab. Check him out. Has already in the process of doing a let's play of this game, and I don't want to encroach. Though that said, his let's play is what encouraged me to get this game, and you should too. It's quite excellent. So, still, we find more jumps that we can't make, but we're going to continue to wander. Hopefully we'll find some interesting things we can do. The red one allows you to make something like a super jump, which should allow us to get over here, and take this. Now we have to be very careful not to get electrocuted by those robots down there. Don't exit straight. You die if you touch sparking robot death. They can electrocute water, so if you're not careful, they can kill you even if you're not close enough to them. Let's see if we can do something tricky. I'm not gonna time it, am I? No. Okay. As you can see, the lights do eventually run out. making them sort of a challenge to actually utilize with any sort of effectiveness. This robot is shooting lasers because he's a jerk. And we're going to do our best to avoid that as much as possible, because we don't want to die to lasers. Here we have more robots, and it's a little more variety in the way that they use their attacks. And I stupidly walked right into that. But, and then I did it again. Yay! I'm good at this game, I promise. Or at least good enough. Alright, there we go. And we're on into this chamber. As you can see, a lot of these areas don't have a lot in them. There aren't a lot of actual, like, skill-intensive challenges. Most of the puzzles you get are actually in the 3rd chapter. The map for this game, for this particular portion of the game, is quite small. As you can see, we've already explored everything to the right, or everything to the left. My bad. I do know my left and rights. Just apparently off in the head. And it looks like we have to go back the hard way. And by hard way, I mean, I'm speechless. I'm actually kind of disappointed in myself for making that happen. Okay. We're gonna go to the right here again. Hit the save point on the way by. Yeah. And continue onward towards that jerk guy, Johann. Johann, the doofus who doesn't seem to realize that we can't talk or that we talk to him. He is quite friendly in her own right. However, since she can't speak, her personality is left more up to the actions of the player, which actually ends up working quite well. Yes. So he hasn't actually just thought wow. Johan's a jerk. I really don't have much to say to that. That's just kind of... So, as you can see, there are secrets in this game. Not all of them are easily identifiable, like that one is. But that one's also part of the reason the store is here. Remember, we were here earlier. So we're going to do a little bit more exploring before I move on, since we can get over here as well. The animation style has improved substantially since the games before this, within the Deep Forest and Knytt stories, and Knytt, I think it's just regular Knytt. But because of the improvements in the art style and whatnot, you end up with, here's a little bit of backstory. You actually end up with a lot more detail in the world that he's building, because you can distinguish more between the characters in the previous games. Within a Deep Forest is an interesting little case as far as Nifflas goes, simply because the entire game, you're a ball, and yeah, just a little bit me. So we have more quests to get access to this lower area. On the right there was a save point. Oh, what happened? This was an opening has opened up over here. That's interesting. We'll try to utilize that if we get a chance to. What was I saying? Nifflas. Right. His one of his previous titles within Deep Forest is the story of a ball who has to save the world by exploring, pretty much. And that's a very, very interesting game, in my opinion. Not only because it's an interesting means of controlling the world in which you're living, but also because it's just a fascinating example of sort of the way that Nifflas builds games. They're very much... It does a really good job at building, basically, worlds. Can make this jump? Is it even possible? What does it seem to be? Alright, well, we'll just keep going down, I guess. Oh, I can't go that way either. Wow, this is unfortunate. So he does an excellent job of building worlds, even as odd and silly as some of them are. since his focus is so heavily on the atmosphere that he builds, the quirks in gameplay and the odd decisions he makes as far as storytelling can be easily overlooked just by nature of the game. They're so immersive. It's so easy to get yourself lost within a deep forest that you stop concerning yourself with small things like why you're a ball. And I believe that might even be addressed within the plot of the game itself. I couldn't honestly be sure. Okay, we're gonna have to stand on these puzzles for a little while because that's how the buttons work. But thankfully, there's just enough time for us to. Oh, that's unfortunate. I should have not waited there. Because now I have to do this crazy jumping puzzle. I'm a bit crazy. I mean, pretty moderate and challenging, I guess. Yeah. So basically, what you pick up over the course of this game is that Knytt Underground takes place more or less on Earth, but underground, after the humans have destroyed the surface, and their artifacts are now valuable treasures in the minds of the fairies, sprites, and pixies that are within the game. The fairy, sprites, and pixies are all portrayed somewhat sympathetically and as fully fleshed out characters of just varying sizes, and sometimes they have the ability to fly or something along those lines. I believe at some point during the process of this game we're going to be introduced to the two main voices of the game, Dora and Celia, who are both interesting and very well fleshed out by themselves, but initially come off as sort of tropey. Celia being sort of an eternal pessimist and Dora being sort of an eternal optimist. And they actually serve as an interesting method to allow the player to have some sort of voice in the game, because it's very easy to identify not just with them but with their perspectives. And in the end, what you are sort of left with is, do you take the sort of cynical route, the pessimistic route, and send out Celia, or do you choose to have faith in whoever you're talking to and send out Dora? Whoa! Yeah, so apparently we're sort of a good Samaritan by virtue of not being able to say no. We have to go to the right here because we don't have a choice. These are the tails. The tails are also little creatures. They're a little bit shorter than sprites, me as a sprite. And you meet them later, actually, in the 3rd chapter. And it seems that their wish came true. And this brings up an interesting philosophical point for Celia and Dora, actually, who bicker over it for a while, which is very, very amusing, but also actually rather insightful. That's one of the things I absolutely adore about this game, is that the philosophy that's involved in it might seem kind of simple and obvious at first, but there really are a lot of important intellectual questions that are going on in this game between the Myriadists and the Internet. There are two factions in this game, the Myriadists and the Internet. And the Myriadists are basically an organization that, after recovering documents and whatnot from the humans above, have sort of decided that the human religions, all of them, are in part correct, and have decided that this means that they're going to basically just worship every human god. And it seems a little bit odd, but here we have a mention of the Internet. The Internet are... That seems... Oh my god. So that seems a little bit like something one of the characters would say. Oh, that was a deep fall, wasn't it? Wow. I'm just gonna keep going down for now. I'm gonna try to fill out the left side of the map before I move on. But yeah, you get the Myriadists, who are basically religious, and aren't. I will say this: they're not kind of parodying any specific religion. It's more that they're parodying all religion and the sort of faith that it takes to believe in it. not out of spite or anger or anything, but actually just sort of out of an interesting curiosity. And it actually ends up being very interesting that the way they're portrayed is very sympathetic, and they're not... I hate bringing up religion for reasons like this, because it's hard to portray religion in a fair way without it coming off as being cynical or critical. But in the case of the Muridists, I feel it's a very fair representation of them, because they are portrayed as ignorant. They do not know the world. They're using what knowledge that they have to explain the things around them. In the same way that the internet but both of them are sort of portrayed as still ignorant and not quite grasping everything. There's a brilliant moment where you're presented with a what is initially interpreted as a ray gun. It's a hairdryer. But it's implied that everyone knows it's a ray gun. So you have this slightly awkward moment with Celia and Dora freaking out that you've been given a ray gun by this person who clearly knows it's a ray gun and has clearly, sent you on this long, elaborate quest to gather a bunch of items for her, and she pays you with something that you're not even allowed to have. So, in its way, this game is sort of riddled with philosophy and little questions like that, and you end up with this very complete game that feels very, sort of stimulating. It's a very nice, pleasant game to play. There's a lot to be said for it, and a lot of things that are going on and happening. And that's really nice. I really respect Nifflas for being able to pull something like this off, because it's not an easy feat to put together a game with this, this sort of insane depth that this game actually manages to go to. I don't want to go as well. I feel like I want to do this quest first, so I'll do that. The controls are fairly straightforward. Up, jump. The arrow keys are used for movement. Up being jump up. You climb walls just by approaching them, and holding up will let you climb up them. You'll automatically jump off if you push the opposite arrow key from the side of the wall you're holding. A, as I'm pushing now, will activate whatever, like, gem, this sort of thing, whatever one of these that you currently have, it will activate that for you. So, like, for example, with that. But I clearly can't get up there now. So, this is sort of the gist. This is, I guess, the first real one of these light puzzles we'll actually have to do. In the sense that it sort of gives you an idea of what you're dealing with as far as this goes. Yeah, you normally can't make it up that jump because of the light, because you're able to walk around it. You can make it then. And now we have a blue light. Blue lights move you horizontally until you hit a wall or press A again. So we're going to use it to get over here. Move up here. Come down, grab that. A. Hop up here. Can't go that way yet, so we'll hit the switch. Knock that out of the way. Move on. There's a red one. Like I said. Damn it. The red ones are the ones that allow you to sort of get a very large vertical boost, but they act a bit more like jumps than anything else. It's going on 20 minutes now, just about. So I'm gonna try to finish this up if I can, but no promises. After all, I want to give you guys at least a pretty substantial. That was a poor choice. Alright. The green lights allow you to move in any direction you can choose to. Well, that's just great. I guess I might as well move this way and get those. Is there a button over here? I think there's a button over here. Yep, button. Alright, now if we fall off again, we can take a shortcut. Hopefully I won't fall off again. I'd like to do this with as few mistakes as possible. Not out of, like, fear that you guys will think I'm bad at this or something, but more because I want to take as little time as possible with it. God damn. Well, I'm not making a strong case for myself, am I, huh? This is awkward. I'd forgotten about that jump. This jump's a little bit on the tricky side. So we've reached 20 minutes. I'm gonna try to finish this first chapter up. I was expecting it to be a little bit shorter, but I guess I was mistaken. What else can I talk about here? I've ranted before in class about my feelings on games as sightseeing tours for the gaming industry. And this is one of the examples that I point to when people say, well, don't you just, you know, isn't it nice to have games that look good? And I say, yeah, but it shouldn't be the whole point. Or if it is the whole point, make the game still, you know, about something more. There's nothing wrong with having a game that not only looks pretty, but is also intellectual. Since anyone who doesn't want to think about things can just choose not to. And anyone who doesn't want to, doesn't want to, you know, have to put up with the complexities of intellectualism, they can choose not to think, and the people who are just there to, you know, think can ignore the incredible visual style of the game. So, I think there's room enough in the world for both. So, and there's a woman on the lead in this because we can't tell her otherwise. There's Tova. Tova's pretty nice. Yeah, I don't know. I feel the same way about film. I have friends who will tell me, you know, it's okay to have a movie just be fun to watch and not be, you know, like of a higher quality or anything. And I still disagree with that. There's never going to be a point at which I'm comfortable saying that it's alright to have a movie that's not intellectual. Every movie can have a point and a deeper subtext. All it does is enrich the movie for others. Of a more intellectual bent, which widens the market and is good for ticket sales, isn't it? I would think so. That said, I think there's nothing wrong with having a movie that stands on its own as an entertainment, as a piece of entertainment. I certainly disagree with Mulvey, her assessment that... What? Film? Fun? No, we need to have film only be intellectual. Oh, it's Loritz. Wow. That guy is quite a jerk. So, as you can probably guess, there's sort of a running theme in this game of doors being built by people to basically out of spite and need of money. And they're sort of just there. They're just sort of they're sort of self-aware obstacles that sort of realize that they're going to serve a huge amount of good in the game beyond just sort of being an obstacle. So we now have 3 human artifacts. This is our full inventory for this map. As you can see, it's not very large. But it serves its purpose, and it's large enough to be functional for this map. As I said, it's not a huge map. I'm probably going to do all of this in one go. You can see on the map it says T on this. Sorry, that's not the map. On my map it says T where we are right now, towards the middle, not the middle of the map, but the bottom right corner. That means there's a trade here, and we still don't have 4 artifacts, do we? That's what we did. Okay, so we did. Okay, yeah, thanks. So as you can see, these are a robot centipede, which clearly that's what that is. That could possibly be a microchip or something. This is a foam shooter, and we have an unknown artifact made of candlesticks and gemstones. And so, the characters in this game are portrayed as rather ignorant of human society, but of course they would be. They're pushed underground by human culture, and that sort of serves to explain their slightly absurd levels of interpretation and the bewildering amount of stupidity that is sort of given them. Oh, hey, I have a coin. Oh, I guess I can't give it my coin. Well, looks like we have to find that last artifact, don't we? Alright, let's do that. It should be on the other corner of the map that I haven't explored yet, so we'll go ahead and go there. Oh, I went the wrong way. I'm so smart. Gosh. So, Nifflas is a fantastic example of what I like about the gaming industry as a whole. As far as other examples go, there's a wonderful, wonderful horror game available for free right now called SCP Containment Breach, which I've made the claim before that it's scarier than Amnesia: The Dark Descent, a rather well-known indie horror, survival horror title, which got some disbelief, but I do believe that the game does its atmosphere, if not as well as Amnesia, certainly better. Simply because the game is it's really, really stressful. You can play through it in God mode and still be like constantly worried, and that's not something you can say for every game, and it's certainly not something you can say for Amnesia. If you put God mode on with Amnesia, the only thing still left in the game that intimidates you on any level is going to be just the thought of being caught in the act of solving a puzzle, which, while certainly intimidating, is certainly not a huge threat or problem. So now we're headed this way. This is the entrance to the final area that we're going to need to go to collect our next dead ends. Now let's go up here. The game takes place in a facility for containing anomalous things, be they entities like 106 or 173 or 74, I think it's 74, or even just objects. It has built itself a very, very pleasant atmosphere of, I guess not pleasant per se, but like very intimidating atmosphere of clinical sort of stoicism, scientific cynicism, the sort of atmosphere that you'd expect to see in a place full of scientists, and ends up working very heavily in its favor when all the lights go out and shit starts getting real, and starting to come after you. You see within the game one of the pieces of inspiration for the Doctor Who's Weeping Angels, which is pretty impressive. That's not to say the game inspired the Weeping Angels. I believe the Weeping Angels inspired the way that the character, the entity, appears in the game. But the original source for that character was part of the inspiration for the Weeping Angels, as far as I know. At least that's what I've heard. From multiple sources, so I have faith in it, but if it turns out to be wrong, I wouldn't be horribly surprised. I just miss Lawrence. So it's worth a try if you're okay with horror, I guess. If you're not so okay with horror, then give it a pass. But we've got our stone. We can move on. We can meet the fairies. Aren't you excited? Of course not. You're just watching. I'll give them to this cheaty person. I wonder why. Probably because you're asking for stones. We'll make our way through here this dark little passageway and on to this pleasant area with a door in the way. Why is there a door in the way? That's really annoying. Well, we'll go up here instead. So as you can see, like, this isn't particularly difficult. We're so very mobile that navigating a room like this is not even kind of a challenge. But here we are. Titania! Well, that's a reference. So we'll offer our coin, but we can't speak aloud, so Titania can't do shit. Yeah. So here we have the introduction. And the concept behind what was the secret from that one year that I was rather frustrated. My school forced me to read that book, and it's a little bit on the other side of the crazy line. So now we have Dora and Celia, and they are our friends. And we're going to head over here now, because now we have these two lights that are following us. If you check your inventory, the last two items are Dora, a sun fairy, and Celia, the moon fairy. And we're going to head... I'm sorry for interrupting you, I guess. Yeah... It's ridiculous optimism from Dora is something I personally can't deal with. It just is a little bit pestersome for me, because I tend to be more of a cynic than a realist, or cynic than a optimist. So yeah, there's this will be the end of the first chapter as we get far enough into this area. Yes, and there we have the ending, the fabulous ending of chapter 1. And then there was an explosion. Yeah, there are more chapters, but we just ended the game. So, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it wasn't too long for you, but what can I do? If I screw up, I screw up. Probably could have saved 5 or 6 minutes had I not messed up so much. But whatever. We'll see you next time, I guess. Pick up this game if you're interested.